Guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is the week of June the 23rd, 2022. Happy summer, everybody. We just had our summer solstice. Just had our longest day of the year. Anyways, the current challenge is the Joker Arkham Origins. It's a 1-week repeat. Required characters are Cyborg, Bane, and Wonder Woman, who are available at the cheapest level would be Bronze, Silver, and Silver respectively. Excellent entry point for newer players, which we like. His passive is Contagious Laughter. Joker's special attacks inflict poison gas. The damage from the poison multiplies with every Arkham teammate. He's got 1150 attack and 850 health. He was last available August 26, 2021. He's got decent middle class, maybe lower middle class stats. Poison is not my favorite damage over time. All it does is reduce the opponent's damage by 20%, so it's more of a defensive effect. But it's still decent as long as you're not facing a Blackest Night Flash team that will turn the damage over time against you. And any Arkham teammate or Batman Returns Catwoman would be good to boost the damage over time if that's what you're going to lean into. And Quake Engine, which we like to put on our damage over time specialist, is especially good with Joker because it locks in opponents for longer, so they will take more damage over time, and you get a restart of damage over time also. If it weren't for Arkham Knight Catwoman, who we saw a few weeks ago, I feel like she's got a slightly better passive because the damage over time can't rinse. And she's got definitely higher stats, 1300 attack and 1000 health. I'd probably be using the Joker more often as my damage over time specialist on an Arkham team. I guess his only advantage over at Catwoman is that he can have Arkham teammates, any Arkham teammates, not just Arkham Knight teammates, which is what Arkham Knight Catwoman is limited to if she wants to boost her passive. So that opens up more possibilities for teammates, and that brings us to the next point. We've been doing something a little different lately, which is have some gameplay with either the current challenge character or the current multiplayer reward, sometimes both, if the fancy takes us, which means if you watch past the initial video that shows the current additions to the store and current events and all the way we normally do our recap, you're going to see some Arkham Origins Joker gameplay with what we consider a reasonably effective and fun team composition and gear loadout. In this case, Joker's a star, but we can have Arkham Killer Croc, which we couldn't with Arkham Knight Catwoman unless we were willing to give up some of the strength of her passive. And this way we can actually reasonably effectively use a tank. And keep your eyes open. So we've had 2 complete runs of a 43-week cycle that first appeared May 2020. And this is the 23rd week in that third cycle for a total of 109 weeks of the recurring pattern without a break in it. If the pattern holds, next week is going to be Rebirth Green Arrow. And we've still got 23 challenge characters missing for the last 2 years. This week's multiplayer reward is Mysterious Artifact, which becomes the Ibistick. Its effects, when fully maxed out, is 30% damage boost to Special 1, 30% damage boost to Special 2, 20% power generation increase, and a 10% damage over time added on Special when evolved. Last available November 18th, 2021. And for the multiplayer rewards, now we've had 2 complete cycles of a 31 reward sequence, 15th in the 3rd cycle. So in other words, we've got 77 weeks in a row of a consistent pattern, and the pattern includes every single multiplayer reward that's been available. If the pattern holds, next week should be Brandish Ninjato. And I'll say this about the Ibistick. It was the original game-changing legendary gear, and if, like us, you pretend the Batmobile never happened, or that it's not a legendary gear, then it's sort of the original legendary gear. The biggest thing that changed in the game was that the damage over time effect is a percentage of the opponent's health and has nothing to do with the attacker's damage, so it becomes the great equalizer. And when I say equalizer, it means that you can have somebody with really low stats fight effectively against somebody with much higher stats. It was one of the first gears to boost both Special 1 and Special 2, and the power generation is perfectly in line with the need for whoever has the Ibistick to be doing specials to get more power so they can use more power. We've got some fun demos of bronze characters taking out boss Arkham Origins Batman. We had the bronze Nightwing doing it on his own. We had Catwoman doing all the damage, but she needed a meat shield to take some of the damage because she could not power drain the same way. Anyways, we've got a playlist of that. Link is in the description if you want to have a go. Lots of fun there. Sort of like the fun that you're seeing with Arkham Origins Joker right now, kicking everybody's butt. So, Rebirth Green Arrow Early Access Bundle is in the store. It's $24.99. Comes with credits. It's a corroborating clue to next week's challenge, which fits in with what we expected from the schedule. It does not unlock in the store, so not a great deal, because if you wait a week, there's a really good chance you're just going to be able to get them for free by completing the challenge and then unlocking him in the store so you can just promote him with credits instead of money. The other new pack for this week is an interesting one. It's Character Bundle Arkham Allies. It's available for $24.99. It was the same price back in August 2021, and it was $26.99. And all prices Canadian, of course. $26.99 the time before that in October 2020. Who you get is Arkham Knight Batman and Arkham Knight Catwoman. What makes this interesting, one of the things that makes it interesting, is that the gear for Batman is a Dawn of Justice one that is normally harder to get. It's not the one that you normally get in the gear locker. Arkham Knight Catwoman, not that worth it because she was a challenge just a few weeks ago. However, Arkham Knight Batman is really what makes it interesting, because once you have your first copy, it unlocks the chance to be able to get him as a Phantom Zone reward, which we've done now a couple times. Now, granted, that's been playing Phantom Zone a lot, but some possibilities better than none. And I think it also unlocks the potential to get him in one of the Nth Metal packs. We have the Red Sun Pack 2 hanging around for a second week, which we talked about last week. The Survivor Pack is around for the 24th week in a row now. Character Bundle Batman Universe is the 29th week. And the Most Wanted Pack is around for its 36th week in a row. And I guess if they last for a year, we're going to go over again what's in them, just to remind people of the value or lack of value in each of those packs. The Nth Metal Celebration Packs, they have been around now for at least 22 weeks, and that would be the Joker and Shazam Celebration Pack. And the Aquaman Celebration Pack has been around for a couple weeks longer, for 24 weeks now. Our Survivor is the LexCorp gear set. It's there until the 29th of June. And the Phantom Zone is finished. Fight 62 is still broken. And last weekend's breakthrough was Catwoman, Deathstroke, and Raven as expected. This coming weekend's is probably Cyborg, Batgirl, and Black Adam, if the rotation is going to be consistent, and it has been for more than a year now. We've got a link in the description to a Reddit thread started by one of the moderators, Devlin16, that goes over the complete breakthrough cycle. And that's it for sort of the news for this week. What we can say about the glitches is that there is, well, I guess spoiler alert, there's nothing new this week. We will go into more detail every time something significant changes. And even if nothing changes, we will still have a more detailed review once a month. And that's going to be the first week of every month. Most recently, that was our recap from June the 2nd, and we're probably going to do that in a couple more weeks, even if nothing else changes. But if you really care, there's a video tutorial for every working glitch in our playlist called Current Glitches. It's linked in the description of this video. And you'll see the footage was just as earlier today, just as Phantom Zone was finishing up. So maybe I'll let this fight run out till we complete the ultimate. But this is a reasonably effective team. I think part of the discussion needs to be that Arkham Knight Batgirl is almost required. The reason we have her in the first slot is because we like to get a few hits in to generate power so that when she tags in, she at least has the option of doing a special one to really wipe out the other team. But we've geared her in a funky way, because even if that doesn't happen, if she tags in, if she doesn't have power, her basic attacks are going to be super effective. That's why we've given her the two gears that will boost stun damage, the Scythe and the Cloak, because they stack, and a gear to boost her basic damage. Because if she's able, if she has power for a special one, we don't need to do any more. In theory, you might want to do some splash damage with the League of Assassins Knives. Totally not necessary, because I think by the time she tags in, the amount of splash damage that's potentially available is a lot less, because hopefully, unless we've really screwed it up, we've taken care of a bunch of the opponent's teammates. And the beauty of this is, by the time you actually bring in Arkham Killer Croc, which is what you're seeing now, his passive has generated a ton of armor for him, so he becomes an even more effective tank. The key really is, I think, protecting your Joker so you don't let him get knocked out too early, where he's sort of your main offensive threat. Although in a pinch, you can use Arkham Knight Batgirl, because her special does the stun right at the beginning, and it's backloaded with damage. And that's it for this week. And what we like to do here, before I let you see the last fight, is give a big thank you to our patrons on Patreon, and that would be BomboBen, Consul Peasant, and Edwoon at the top tier, Last Word, Sinemac and Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier, Shawn, Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, Eddydoo, and Hoshi127 supporting us on the credited level, and Chris Wolff, Scarlet, Dani, Awesomegamer 2for1, Pavu RS, Gavin, Mallott, and Isfar E at the gratitude level. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Komoda.